Hello, today you're going to be still working on the investigation phase. The last time you'll be working on the investigation phase. And you're going to be working today on creating your design brief. So let me jump to here. This is the design brief stage. You can see we've worked our way through the investigation, and the next class you'll be working on the prepare. So what do you need to do today? Your focus is going to be on the design brief. In the last class you brainstormed some ideas. You came up with 3 projects which you brainstormed ideas for, and from those 3 you selected 1. And this is what you should have recorded and reported back to me in the Flipgrid. If you have not done that, or if you owe me any of those Flipgrids, you better try and catch up, because those will form part of your grade for the investigation phase. Okay, so today you're coming up with a design brief, and the design brief is going to really consist of these 5 elements I've got on the screen here. First of all, maybe before even that, just give me the title. What is the project you're working on? And then, well, what is the problem that project is trying to solve? So that can be quite general to being very, very specific. And it really depends on the project that you're doing. You know, if you're doing something, say there's been some to create some sort of shelving. Okay, that's got a very specific problem you're trying to address. To maybe the more general ones, such as the board game. Well, what's a board game for? Maybe it's to alleviate the boredom of something, to have some fun with some friends or family. So what is the problem that you're trying to address? Now, each of these, there's a document attached to the classroom which has all of these in. Each one of these you probably want to write between 1 and 3 paragraphs. So there's quite a bit you got in there, but you've got all of the day's lesson, and you've got up until the next class, and maybe a little bit of the next class, but by the next class that design brief needs to be finished. So you described the problem, now what is the solution? So this is where you might want to describe a little bit about more detail in text, what it is you're planning to develop. What are the limits to the solution? So this is going to require a little bit of brainstorming. What is it not going to be doing? Still think about your problem, what's related to your problem, but what is it not going to address? Now the next 2 bit, what must the solution be able to do and what should it be able to do? So the must, that's you setting priorities and saying, I've got to be able to make sure it got this, this and this, and you need to describe those elements. And again, it's difficult for me to give you an example because you've got so many different projects out there, which is great to see. But you do need to sort of try and think, okay, I've got to make sure that I do this, this and this. And then what should there be? Some of the things where maybe you haven't got time, but it'd be nice to have. Okay, or maybe you don't have the materials. Maybe in a month's time, when you're finishing this off, you might be able to get them. So for example, you might like to be able to paint something, but you haven't got the paints yet. But maybe you'll be able to get them in a month's time. And if you can't get them, it's not a disaster. That's why it would be a should rather than a must. Okay, so each of these you need to sort of try and address. You're writing between 1 and 3 paragraphs. Okay, and most of this lesson you should be working on this, and then at the end of the lesson you can write to the Flipgrid very, very quickly, summarising what you have written. Okay, so I can't remember how long the Flipgrid, just a minute and a half maybe. Just give me a very quick overview of what you have actually been working on. Okay, so again, that's really what I say there in the Flipgrid for today's class. You'll report back on the work you've done in your design brief. You don't have to finish the design brief by today, but by the next class you will be required to submit it. So you'll have a little bit more time, the next class, a little bit of time to finish this off, but then you'll be starting on the design elements, the sketching it out and thinking about the materials that you require. So again, here's your link to the Flipgrid. You should do well. Work on that design brief and then give me some feedback on Flipgrid. Okay?